My busy moms, welcome back to Surviving Disruption. I am Stacy and I guide moms from that guilt and exhaustion to balance and joy so you can show up with presence and peace and purpose. So let me ask you, have you ever said yes when you wanted to say no? Or and that is when you say yes to doing something extra, but you really don't have the time. And so you say yes, but you really felt no. Or you said no to your children and later felt guilty. Or you snapped at them before you went to bed or before they went to bed because they left, clothes on the bathroom floor. We all do that, right? I know we do. But then later, you lay awake, replaying it over and over in your head. That is what we call the guilt cycle. Yes, we're going to stop that guilt cycle right now. And today, we're going to talk about why this happens and how you can start breaking free, right? We don't want that guilt cycle anymore because what happens with our guilt cycle? We get this guilt, then we overthink, and then we're even more exhausted because usually that overthinking happens when we are trying to go to sleep. Yep, usually happens when we're sleeping or trying to sleep. And then we get more guilt. Because when we're exhausted, what usually happens when we're exhausted? We get irritable. And when we're irritable, we snap more. And when we snap, we feel guilty. So do you see this cycle? It's going and going and going, right? You want it to stop. So, like I said, here's an example. You've said you have been asked to volunteer at the school for your kids' school, some kind of thing. The PTA is always asking for help. And you're one of those moms that say yes. And you go and you feel you're resenting saying yes because you're one of the moms that always say yes. And so you're getting pretty tired of being one of the ones that are always there. And then you're overthinking, I'm not a good mom because I'm not at home with my kid. Or when you get home, you're exhausted because you spent so much time over there and now you're tired. And so you snap at them. And that creates that guilt. So it becomes this awful loop that we get stuck in. So why do moms get in this guilt cycle? That is a very good question. Well, there's this kind of cultural conditioning that a good mom sacrifices everything. Or, a good mom is the mom that is involved with the school because the teachers get to know you, the school gets to know who you are. And so that makes you a good mom because now you're involved in your kid's school. From the time we're little, we're shown all these examples of what a good mom is. The one that sacrifices everything, never complains, always puts her kids first, and somehow keeps the house perfect. That image is impossible, but it lives deep inside us. And so when we set a boundary, no, I can't do that, or we take care of ourselves, maybe you decide that you want to go and to a specific exercise class. And so you're doing something for you. We feel like we're failing. And then there's these generational expectations. Many of us may have been raised by moms and grandmothers who didn't have permission to say no. They didn't have time. They didn't have the rest or have an identity outside of motherhood. These messages were passed down even without words, like your needs don't matter. Somehow that got ingrained in us. So when we think about prioritizing ourselves, guilt shows up. Then there's this social media pressure. That is definitely a huge thing because maybe you have, some friends from their kids' school and they post all the time about being at the school events, looking like this perfect mom with everything put together. Yeah, that cultural voice is pretty loud. And and like maybe these kids, whatever. But, like these social media, even maybe they're not friends of yours. Maybe you just have started scrolling and you start seeing like these perfect pictures of these, lunches that moms put together or, going to the school parties. All of that kind of noise from being on social media, that social media pressure. But what you don't see them posting about is the exhaustion, the tears. Nothing of that behind the camera is not shown. So comparing yourself to that can create this guilt. There's like this double standard too. Fathers are often celebrated for doing the basics. Like, look, he's babysitting his kids, while mothers are expected to run everything flawlessly without a thanks. That double standard makes moms feel like whatever they're doing is never enough. And how does this all connect to that guilt cycle? So, when we finally say no or let something go, we feel guilty. And you did because you did nothing wrong, but because you bumped up against the cultural conditioning. Guilt in the moment isn't a true signal. It's a leftover script that says, if I'm not self sacrificing or if I'm not doing this, I'm not a good mom. And that's the story we have to rewrite. And if you need more tips about how to rewrite that story, go back to the other training about rewriting your story. And the guilt will activate our nervous system. And again, our nervous system has four components: the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And information about that is in the other trainings. So, the cost of staying in this guilt cycle can, one, create sleepless nights, and our body never rests, and it never gets that opportunity to reset. It can start to impact our health. So we might feel more tension in our bodies. Of course, we're feeling fatigued if we're not sleeping. And all of those will create a lowered immunity. And so all those germs that our kids bring home from school and they want to share land on us. And we will get sick quicker because our immunity is down. Our confidence is impacted. We start to second guess our decisions because we're overthinking. There's not enough bandwidth to think about anything else. And so it's so hard to make decisions. And that impacts our relationships because when we're second guessing, people around us are like, oh my gosh, she's asking me again. And so these are the kind of things that as women or as moms, we're dealing with, and we need to break the cycle now. So, what are some steps that you can take to break this cycle? One, awareness. You need to be able to notice guilt as the signal. Second, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified when I go live or when I drop a new video, you want to like this video. You want to share it to another mom that also feels the guilt. And then in my description or in the comments right now is a link where you can take the first steps to breaking free from this cycle and book your free mission to motion call where we can meet together and kind of get an idea of where your guilt's coming from. And we can start problem solving how to get out of that cycle. And then the other step you could do is also download my free Calm and Focus Breakthrough Kit, where I provide you some valid tips, some, a meditation, and that can all help you from getting out of this cycle as well. So this is just, one way to start breaking from that cycle. And like I've been doing in all of my other lives, I've been, providing a tip from the somatic techniques that I use inside my Anchor Resilience. So clients of mine, you are getting, you're getting this as a free tip, but clients of mine, we use a lot of somatic techniques in our coaching calls, but we also do a lot of other things. We rewrite that story. We really get connected to our emotions. I provide you my heart harbor technique to connect to yourself. We use the spiritual behavioral shift method to help you rewrite those scripts and have a new script inside your head, which will all help get out of that guilt cycle, stop overthinking. So here we are with our somatic techniques. And we're going to pick a card. And hopefully it's not the same card that we've done. I should be taking out some of the cards that we've already done. So this is rocking. So rocking in a chair offers the therapeutic benefits like stress reduction, endorphin release, relaxation, improved sleep, anxiety reduction, physical relief for back pain, cognitive benefits, and enhanced concentration. It serves as a comfortable space for socializing and has therapeutic applications for specific populations. That's what this card says about rocking. But do you know, we're all moms. And so we've always, or a lot of us tend to, when we're standing, we'll have that rocking motion, because that's what has comforted our baby when they were in the womb. That comforts them when they are newborns or even toddlers or when they're sick. We tend to have that rocking motion. And so rocking is very comforting. It helps regulate that nervous system. So when you want to use this in your busy day, you want to find a chair. It can be just any kind of chair, or you could have a rocking chair, or just a comfortable spot on the floor where you can sit or lie down. And you're going to start with a deep breath. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. And begin a gentle rocking. So if you're sitting in a chair, place your feet on the ground. And if you're lying on the floor, bend your knees and keep your feet flat. And start rocking your body gently back and forth. If in a chair, use your feet to push off the ground slightly. If on the floor, use your core muscles to create a gentle rocking motion. Find that rhythm. Establish a slow and steady rhythm that feels calming and natural. Focus on the soothing motion and how it feels in your body. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable and really get in tune your senses. Feel the gentle motion Notice any sounds around you and be mindful of your breathing. And give yourself a couple minutes at that rocking motion. After rocking, come to a stop. Take a few deep breaths and notice how you feel. Reflect on any changes in your mood or physical sensations. That's an easy step that busy moms can do and put into their busy day. And that's my goal, is to give you tips that you can have during your busy day. And again, if you want to find out how to get out of this guilt cycle permanently, reach out to me and we can set up that mission to motion call and get you started on breaking that cycle. All right, till next time.